Hi, we just finished meeting for intonation practice on May 22nd, and we started with some good examples of sound changes based on consonants next to each other and changing words into more casual speech. So, where did you get it would be perfect and weird. Where did you get it? Where'd is something we can do in spoken English. And anytime you can change you to ya, that makes it more casual. And it's the vowel, as in up. So remember, you're using which is in the, maybe this should be over here, but it's low in the middle of the mouth. That's going to be a lot of the sound changes will be to So a D and a Y next to each other make a J. So now we have J. Where'd ya? Where'd you get it? And the T next to the E and the I make a D. So where'd you get it? Hey, where'd you get it? And where did you go is perfect, but you can make a contraction, where'd. And now the D and the Y make a J and change you to ya. Where'd ya? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Could you let me know what time you're leaving? I don't know why I imagine somebody saying it so weird. Could you let me know what time you're leaving? But it's if I emphasize those same words. Could you let me know what time you are leaving? Is fine. But could ya? The D and the Y, ja. Could you let me? We don't say the T, so you can just skip it and say let me. No. What time you're, instead of a perfect your, you can not round your lips and make it a little lazier. You're leaving. Could you let me know what time you're leaving? I put the emphasis on time, yeah. Could you let me know what time you're leaving? It's a yes no question, so it's going to go up. She would have been here if she hadn't missed the train. Would have can change to woulda because any can just be woulda. Been, oh, yeah, been here if this R will connect to the I. Hadn't, we don't say the T, you make a syllabic N, which means the N becomes its own syllable. Hadn't. Missed the, you're not going to hear missed because you don't need to release the t noise and there's a TH after it. Missed the. So she would have been here if she hadn't missed the train. She would have been here if she hadn't missed the train. I didn't realize how late it had gotten. I didn't, another syllabic didn't, realize how late it had. Late did, this T changes to a D. Dad, this T changes to a D. And you don't have to have a lot of airflow for this H, so it will sound like late did dad got. Late did dad. I should have put a mark there. You don't say that D at the end. I didn't realize how late did dad gotten. You're making it gotten, that syllabic N. This T, these two T's disappear. Even in the word like forgotten, we don't say gotten. So I didn't realize how late it had gotten. They should have told us about the changes earlier. They shoulda, instead of shoulda, told us about. That's what this is. Told us about. You won't hear the T in about the changes earlier. This looks like an S, but it sounds like a Z, and that's why you hear earlier. So they should have told us about the changes earlier. I guess I didn't emphasize told us. I have to pretend like I'm annoyed. They should have told us about the changes earlier. They should have told us about the changes earlier. That's the way we practiced it in the meetup. Sound a little annoyed. If you'd like, you're not going to hear this D because the D and the L are in the same position. So just hold the D. If you'd like, and you're going to hear you're not going to hear the K because you're going to hold it in the K position. If you'd like, we can meet at the library. Meet at the library. If you'd like, we can meet at the library. And what are you can make a contraction, water, and then that would really sound like water. What are you? But we're going to change you to ya whenever possible. So what are ya thinking? Anytime you can change ing to in, you will. So thinking. because this connects. Thinking about, don't say the T, because the T and the D are next to each other and made in the same place. About doing instead of doing, make it an I. I use IH, and here IH for the short I, as in it. So if you say ing, doing with the ing, it should be E, very high. If you say doing, it should be a little lower. Eat it. This is doing, ing, doing with an it vowel. So back to um, so the first one, and then we can change it just to whatcha is a possibility and what'ya is a possibility. So what are what are you thinking about doing this weekend? Or what you thinking about doing this weekend? Or what are you thinking about doing this weekend? And that's as far as we got. We did some words. So the vowel difference between where and were, like where were you? I'll put this here. Where were you? I put wet here because it's the same vowel. So if you're starting with a W for where and you're not sure of that vowel, wet, yes, head, all of those have the same vowel, and that might help you find the position. It's the as in yes. So it's lower I, a, a. So it's mid position. The jaw is rather high, and the tongue is kind of just totally flat, not higher, not lower. Where and were. Forget about any vowel sound. You're just making the R position. So the tongue gets curled back to the R. So when you finish rounding your lips, were. If I just kept going, you're just making an R. That's all it is. Were. Where were you? Who were you with? The vowel with is I, as in hit. So this is I, not E, but I, a little bit lower. And your, either spelling, would usually be sound like oh, your. But in casual English, it's usually not important. Pronouns usually aren't important. So your. You don't have to round your lips, just your. And this is an example of thinking changes to thinking. So ing, in. You have both the high, I. Thinking. All right, that's it. I'll do it without talking. I'll do just the shortened casual version, not the perfect one. So, where'd you get it? Where'd you go? Could you let me know what time you're leaving? I said leaving, so leaving. I put leaving here. Either way. She would have been here if she hadn't missed the train. I didn't realize how late it had gotten. They should have told us about the changes earlier. If you'd like, we can meet at the library. What are you thinking about doing this weekend? What you thinking about doing this weekend? What are you thinking about doing this weekend? That's it. Thanks. It was good to see everybody, and I hope you have a good long weekend, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.